Hello, I'm Chef Gary, and today we'll be making spicy blue crab miso soup. Now, miso soup is a Japanese soup, and it has two main ingredients. Those two ingredients are soybean paste, which is fermented soybean paste, right there. Can you zoom in on that, camera woman? All right, thank you. And next, we've got the dashi base. Now, dashi is made up of two ingredients. The first is dried kelp or kombu. It's right here. We've got the dried kelp, and this is what it looks like. That's the bag I'm using, and that's what it kind of looks like. It's like a tobacco leaf, kind of. And the other is dried bonito, smoked bonito fish flakes, thinly sliced. That's right here. Now, I know it doesn't have any English on it, but just look up dried bonito flakes, or, and you can find it. Now, we also have tofu right here. We also have wakame seaweed. You zoom in on that? We got wakame seaweed right there. And we have some green onions, thinly sliced, that I sliced up earlier. We're gonna add those all at the end. Let that simmer in. We've got some blue crab right there, bought at our local H Mart. And we've also got right here, if you don't have enough time to make the dashi base, you can get what's called handashi, and it is nothing but the bonito soup stock in MSG. That's all it is. So if you don't have a lot of time to make the dashi base, you can just make this and mix that with the miso soup, and you'll be good. But today, we're not taking any shortcuts. We're doing it all from scratch. And this soup means a lot to me. The spice, the blue crab spicy miso soup means a lot to me because, every dish has a story to tell. And my story with this dish is that I learned this from a Japanese restaurant that I used to work at. I was training there. I wanted to learn sushi, and that was the whole reason of me being there, was learning sushi. But I was fired from that establishment because I washed dishes too slow. That's what the executive chef told me. And he said, Getty-san, why do you have so many dishes left on your cabinet? I said, look, man, I'm trying my best. I'm here for the sushi. All I'm trying to do is get to the sushi. But he told me, hey, man, you work too slow. You wash dishes too slow. You got to get out of here, Getty-san. So it was a sad time for me, but I did learn one thing. I learned how to make some spicy blue crab miso soup, and that's what we'll be learning today. All right, we have the water boiling. I've got about 4 cups of water in there. It's at a rolling boil, and I'm going to add the kombu seaweed now. Now, I don't have a lot of kombu seaweed, so I'm not making a big dish. But anyways, you can add your seaweed. Drop it in there. You got that? You drop that in there. And you see, once you drop it in, it's going to start boiling, and it's going to be a little scum that's going to rise to the top. And we're going to let that boil for a good 3 minutes. So you see it boiling, a little scum is going to start coming to the top. Some people, when they're letting it boil, they scoop the scum off. Me, I like the scum for a little flavor, so I'm going to keep that in there. But just let that boil for about 3 minutes, and then we're going to remove that. All right? All right, so it's been 3 minutes, and now I'm going to turn the heat down, or actually turn the heat off on the base with the seaweed. And if you look in there, you can see that the seaweed, with its simmering, has turned the water to like a light green. All right, and now I'm going to remove the seaweed, or the kombu. Woo, that's a whole lot of seaweed. Oh, let me go ahead and get me another scoop. Feel like I'm fishing. Get on in there. My gosh, this is a lot of work. Okay. I'm going to remove the seaweed. See, I had a couple of little small little kombu flakes, but usually you'll have like some bigger stalks. So hopefully you won't have this problem. But me, I've got the little flakes. So I'm gonna scoop these out. But anyways, you get the picture. You're gonna turn it down and take the seaweed out. Give me a moment. Let me take these small fragments out, and then we'll put the dashi in. I mean, we'll put the bonito flakes in. All right, so I finally got all of the rest of that dried kelp out, or kombu out. And so, like I said, the water is gonna be a light green. Now it's time for us to add the bonito, the dried bonito flakes. So they come in a little bag like this. I'm gonna open them up, and I'm gonna put them in this little, what the heck is this called? A what? A hot dog. What did you say? Anyways, I'm gonna put them in this little thing right here. Excuse me, we're having technical difficulties with my translator. She's Japanese, so I'm asking her. But anyway, I'm gonna put it in here. Give me one moment. Let me see, we're gonna put that in here. Now, there's some people, they take the actual bonito flakes and they throw it in the water and then they just take it out. Me, I'm not gonna do that. Because to me, I mean, it's too much of a mess for me and I don't have that much time to be doing that. So, you see, if you look, when I took the seaweed out, I turned the heat off. Now, the reason I turned the heat off is because my Japanese sushi chef, when he was making this, he told me that there's two ways you can make it. Either you can boil it or you can turn the heat off and let it sit in there and simmer, kind of simmer on its own. He said the reason why he doesn't boil it is because if you do boil the bonito flakes, it makes the miso soup have like a kind of like a bitter taste to it. And he says, you know, he likes it to have a smooth taste when his patrons eat their miso soup. So he says he doesn't boil his. He just turns the heat off, and he does it like this. So this is the way I'm going to do it. But if you look at some other videos or you know, other people, they just take the flakes and throw it in there. But me, I don't do that. You know, everybody was trained differently. So I'm not saying the other people that do it are wrong, and I can care less what they say about me, how I do it. All right, now, so I've put the bonito flakes in here. I'll turn the heat off. And now I'm just gonna dip this down in there like that. Just gonna dip it down in there like that. And I'm gonna let it sit like that for a good 2 minutes. All right, so it's almost ready. I moved it around in there a little bit. You know, moved it around in there. So it's been about 2 minutes. Now I'm gonna pull this out. All right, I'm gonna pull this out. Just dump that over right here. I don't need these anymore. Now, it's on to the soybean paste. This right here is my dashi base, and now it's time for my fermented soybean paste, or my miso soybean paste. Now I'm gonna take 2 big scoops. Okay, 1. All right, and 2. All right, and then I'm gonna move that around in a nice circular motion. I'm gonna keep the heat off for a little bit because I don't want it to burn, but I do want all of this to dissolve. I don't want there to be any big chunks of miso. All right, so this is the basic miso soup. Let me taste some. Taste a little bit. Need a little salt, okay? I use a little sea salt. Just throw some salt in there. Now this is just the basic miso soup. So the miso soybean paste with the dashi that we made. And you can just throw a little salt in there and, you know, heat it up. But today we're making remember, a spicy blue crab miso soup. Now, if you didn't want to throw the blue crab in there, you can just throw some tofu in there, like I said, and you can also throw the wakame seaweed in there. And then you'd have a basic miso soup. But today we're not doing basic. We're going to step it up a notch. All right, so I've got that there. And now I'm going to turn on the heat. get this thing boiling. All right, we're going to get it boiling. Now, when it starts to boil, I'm going to add my crab. All right, welcome back, guys. Now our miso soup right now is coming to a little boil right now. You got that on camera? It's coming to a boil. And I have it boiling because I'm cooking seafood. So I want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. Now we're getting ready to add our blue crab. Look at that, looking fine, aren't they? And I got these, they came like this already processed. I didn't feel like taking the shell off and doing all that. I don't have no time for all of that. I'm doing a cooking show. All right, so we take the blue crab, throw him in there. We take the other blue crab. Whoa, you hanging on. Don't worry, all of y'all getting in there. We throw him in there. And we take the last one, throw him in there. All right, and now, I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit more and let that get to a boil. And we're gonna let these cook, we're gonna let these boil for a good about 5-6 minutes. We're gonna let that boil because I wanna make sure, they're cooking. All right, so we're gonna let those cook for a good 5-6 minutes. Seafood doesn't take too long to cook, but like I said, I'm gonna let that boil for a good 5-6 minutes. Let me go ahead and you can put a top on top or not. Me, I like putting the top on top, so the steam can stay in there and it can cook longer. It can cook quicker. All right, so it's been 5 minutes. Let me turn this heat down to medium. All right, and let me go ahead and see what we're working with. Woo! All right, there we go. I smell it. And they got their hands up. Wave them in the air like you just don't care. All right, look at them. And you see those beautiful blue crabs have turned to a beautiful, beautiful red color. Woo, that's how we know they are done. All right, look at that thing. Let me taste it real quick. Hold on, let me get that flavor up in there. So I'm moving them around. Let me taste this real quick and see what we working with. Ooh, that nice seafood flavor. Lord have mercy. Yes, sir. It's there. It's there. All right, now we have our green onions. We have our wakame seaweed. And we also have our tofu. Now, you can add other things in too. You can put mushrooms. You can put shiitake mushrooms. You can put all kinds of stuff in. But this is what I'm using. But usually, people add some seaweed and some tofu with their miso and green onions. But you can add mushrooms, whatever you want. Okay, so let me add the tofu. I had diced it up. And tofu, you got to be delicate with it. It will break easily. All right, so we're putting our tofu in there. Putting that around. Ooh, yeah. And now, I'm going to add my wakame seaweed. Sprinkle that around. Let's get the rest of this. All right, and last I'm gonna put my green onions. But no particular order you have to put them in. It just depends on how you want to do it. And we're gonna let that, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot my spice. This is spicy blue crab miso soup. My spice, what's my spice? I like to put a little sriracha in there. A little sriracha hot chili sauce. So I'm gonna put that in there. All right. Okay. And I'm gonna mix that in. Mix that in. Mix that in. I'm gonna mix that in. All right. And now I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit, just a tad bit, and let that simmer all together. Let all that flavor get in there. Let them marry each other and spend some time with each other. You gotta talk to your food. So I gotta let y'all spend time with each other and marry. Look at that, look at it. Look at it starting to bubble. It's communication. The food is communicating with each other, So the thing is that it's all of that flavor is coming together. And so I'm gonna let that sit for another 2 minutes. All right, so it's been about a good 2 minutes. Okay. Woo, woo. Man, that thing smells good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off, turn that heat off. Okay. All right. And like I said, you can taste it and see if you want to add a little bit more salt or some pepper or whatever you like. I'm gonna taste it and see. Blow it off a little bit. Dang, let me give me another little taste. And that sriracha got a nice little kick right up there in my throat organ. Got a nice little kick. And you can add more sriracha or whatever, more sriracha, whatever you like. And the crab, we just put that in there for the seasoning. I mean, for the, for seasoning. I mean, I don't really eat the crab like that. I just put it in there for seasoning. But if you want, you can put the little crab in the middle. And let's get this soup. All right. All right. Man, so you get your spoon, you get your bowl, you get your sriracha, and I like to get my Hello Kitty soda. That's what I like. All right. And you just start eating them. And you want, like I said, if you want, a crab doesn't really have a lot of meat to it, but I mean, this is, delicious. All right, hey you guys, thanks for watching. You see, we made spicy blue crab miso soup. Hey, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you want. We appreciate you watching. If I can do it, you can do it. Have a good day. Man, this is good.